Ready to rise through the ranks of the online marketing hierarchy? Take some notes from the original Royals of Revenue, the Internet Traffic Kings. We're about to open up a treasure chest of knowledge from the best of the best. With your hosts, Kevin the Clickfather DiVincenzi, the original Big Fabu John Fondi, and the ultimate compliance conciliary, Attorney Bennett Kelly. In 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to this edition of Internet Traffic Kings. I'm John Fondi, your host, and we've got some great guests that are going to come on, and we're going to talk about this industry, how the industry is changing, how what's going on around us is changing, and bring some experts on to talk about what they've been doing since we've seen everybody last. But right now, we're going to go to our co-host and our executive producer, Kevin DiVincenzi, and let's go see if we can admit him. And there he is, Kevin DiVincenzi.
Hello, John. How are you?
I'm doing really well. You know, it just seems like yesterday that we were doing this with Brandon and the gang and Brasco and everybody over at Webmaster Radio. And now here we are doing this back again. So, hey, it's really great to see you. Great to be on.
Absolutely. 10 years later, huh?
10 years. It's so amazing. We've known each other longer than that. So,
Absolutely.
you know, it was everything is it's changing. Let's face it. And ready for and I think that's the one thing we have to do is kind of get ready for change and be ready for it when it takes place. And that's a lot of what we're going to be able to talk about with our guests is don't wait till the last minute or don't wait till you have a problem. Think about what your next chess move is going to be. And you've certainly been doing that as well.
Yeah, that's the thing. You have to pivot, right? I mean, lucky I'm blessed with a great staff, and we've been able to yet again change our whole business model literally overnight. And you have to. I mean, if you can provide value in some sort of service, you have to change your business to adapt to the current business conditions. I mean, we've literally done, close to a 360 in under 2 weeks. You have to. There's nothing else you can do.
Yeah, and I think one of the things, Kevin, you're a great anticipator. You think a couple of steps ahead of everybody. I think that's important to have your plan ready to go when you have to make a change.
Yeah, with this though, it was very hard to anticipate. Some of our major clients we did not think would have challenges because they weren't really affected, right? A lot of the services they weren't home services. They were things that people were doing online. So we're thinking, why would e-commerce really be affected? If anything, you would see an increase. But what we found is there's still staffing problems. There's still humans that are needed. So when they couldn't go to work, that created a whole new. And on top of that, the fear, right? The media and the fear mongering, you have all these people that are afraid to spend the money they have. I mean, one of our largest clients said, we're just trying to hang on to our cash. And I go, what does that mean? I'm like, we just need to hang on to our cash right now because nobody knows what's coming next. That's the scary part for everybody.
Well, let's go ahead and do the moonwalk and kind of walk ourselves back to when we used to do this show and the things that have changed. What have you been up to?
Well, I have 2 more kids. I've got a 6-year-old daughter, Gianna, and a just 1-year-old Dylan. So 2 more kids, and we're running our pay-per-call network. We're not doing email anymore just because of all the litigation and all the different things that happened over the years. It just wasn't a model we wanted to stay involved in anymore. But primarily pay-per-call and then running our own offers. We own quite a few offers, reverse phone lookup tool and things like that we're running ourselves. We're also starting our own auto warranty offer where we'll be quoting and binding our own policies and things like that. Just, building more internet businesses because it's, luckily we're blessed where we can still continue working and continue creating things in this crazy time.
Well, I think that's great. We've kind of gone through these changes. I've been through some myself, and now we're glad that everybody's healthy and building families. And I'm still in Las Vegas and still just digging it here. And it's a great place to live and a great place to be from.
Yeah, I didn't know Las Vegas had an ocean behind it, but okay.
Yeah, right. Well, you have to look really close at it as well. And but yeah, we're really kind of talking ourselves through this coronavirus as well because you can just throw a bowling ball down the strip now because everything is so closed, and I feel really bad for the employees and everything that they're going through. And who would have thought that Las Vegas would be they got the close sign turned around, and it's they're down.
Yeah, I mean, they had a tough time after the recession in 2009 as well. This is a little bit different because this is not a slowdown of business. This is a stoppage of business.
Mhm.
So, and Vegas is one of the last cash-heavy societies, as far as tipping and what have you, and service-oriented business. So when all that stops, what do? I mean, the only businesses making money right now are pawn shops. I mean, they're seeing a big surge of normal people just have to pawn, their handbags and things just to feed their families. It's a pretty dire state right now, unfortunately.
Well, and I think the other thing is shutting down and then tooling back up again, because you've got to start we're open for business campaigns. Half the employees may not even be there anymore. They may have gotten different careers and all of that stuff. And so, it's if we in Vegas said, or anywhere for that matter, Los Angeles, the beach, wherever it might be,
right.
You've got to start it all over again. And in many cases, that is going to be difficult for a lot of people for a lot of different reasons and stuff. But it's kind of like we're resilient, and we'll get through this, and we'll just kind of just move on. And so that's a little bit what we're doing. So XY7 Elite is still going well?
XY7 Elite's going well. Elite Calls is going well. Yeah, we're still, if anything, we've seen a 2.5x increase in inbound calls being answered, because obviously people are home. So people are answering. That's one of the pivots that we've done, is invested more in that technology. Same thing with offline mailings, postcards. People are still checking the mail. The mail's still being delivered, and they're more apt to think about things. I mean, one thing I think you're going to see at the end of this is a lot of people are going to reevaluate their lives as well. Like everybody's saying, it's a reset from Mother Nature. I mean, even my second home here in Malibu, I can finally see Catalina Island. Like, I look out and I'm like, oh my gosh, there is an island there. And the other day I took pictures of cargo ships coming in, and I've never seen that before, because literally everybody's shut down, right? So there's no smog, there's no traffic. It's quite incredible. But I think people are going to evaluate, people that are just going 24/7, evaluate their life now that they have time to actually sit and think, and going back to how people are responding. People are thinking more about their health insurance, about their life insurance, about planning for the future. They're thinking a lot more about that now, and they have the time to do that. It's not just go.
Well, we've got some great guests on the show, our inaugural show. Bennett Kelly is going to be on the show, and we're going to talk about several things about how his business has changed and how he's adapting to it, and some of the curveballs that have been thrown at him as well. And then we're going to talk about Affiliate Summit. And you had a good opportunity to go there and walked away with a little bit of iron.
Yeah, no, the Affiliate Summit was great. I think we're also going to talk about today, we have a special guest to discuss an online trade show. Very, very late in the game. There was 3 trade shows I planned to be at. I was supposed to be at the Buyers Convention, ASD, sorry, and also Traffic and Conversion Summit, and also LeadsCon. And those were all this month. Those are all about now. And most of them canceled last minute. So obviously a lot of these people that rely on the trade show business are wondering how they're going to network and how they're going to get business. For somebody like me, because I've been doing this for 22 years, I already have a network. So it's easy for me to go through my network and create more business or more opportunities. For some of the newer people, or if somebody's launching a product or a software as a service or something, they don't have that same Rolodex to go to. So we have Darren Blatt on that's going to explain what he's doing in online trade show, which is revolutionary in a sense that, the time is now, right? The time is where everybody's looking for something to do and looking for a way to connect. So I think it's great. It's a great idea.
And so I don't think Darren has checked in yet. Well, at least I don't see him in the waiting room as well. So we were essentially going to go to him probably about 12:45. So just kind of keep that in the back of your head there a little bit. That then hopefully Bennett may come back and jump into the waiting room, and so we might have to dance a little bit. It's our first show. We're kind of allowed to have a little
That's fine.
bit, and that's kind of
Absolutely.
that's kind of.
I think you told Darren 12:35, so I think we're good. I think we have a couple minutes. I'll text them and tell them that we are ready.
And so yeah, that would be yeah. If you send out a text to them and let them know that to jump on, because I can see if he's in the waiting room here, and then we can choose to let him in or let him know.
Yep.
And stuff. But it'll make for.
So let's go into what's going on with you, John? I mean, you got a new name from Fab Fondy to Flatline Fondy. How did that come about?
Yeah, the big Fabu, I guess doesn't exist anymore. So yeah, we had some health scares. A lot of it was stress and things, and I had a little valve that had to be replaced in my heart, and so there was some good and bad with that. For one, we got the valve replaced, and number two, we realized I do have a heart, so it worked out pretty well for us. And I've fully recovered now. It's as though it didn't happen. I'm going through, some some testing and some things of that nature, but it was a perfect success. And you go through something like that, you kind of wonder, what do I want to do with my life, and I don't want to end up back in the hospital. The surgery was great. It was the aftercare that practically killed me. And so it was, so anyway, that's.
I don't like what I'm saying about the coronavirus. It made you reevaluate your life in a sense, correct?
Yeah. So really I do 2-3 things now. I've always been a big guy in charity, and so
Yes.
I was able to continue my charities, and I started the Las Vegas Television Network, which is something I've always wanted to do as well. So
That's awesome.
right now you may not realize this with this beautiful ocean behind us, but we're actually on the campus of UNLV. That's where our studio is, our offices, and I got the hat, so I tend to.
Yeah, you got the hat.
And so I'm doing what I like to do, which is actually instructing students, giving them the knowledge of the 40 years that I've been in this business, and it's really kind of working out, really quite nicely. So so I've got a D with a $ sign up here.
That's it, D Money. That's his name, D Money.
D Money. So I'm gonna bring D Money in. That's okay. Hey, that's pretty good. I think we're loading him up now.
What's happening?
Hey, is that D with a $ sign? From John.
There's some guy.
I
There's
got my people behind me.
Yeah.
That's it. Look at that.
Hey,
Party don't stop.
And so, hey, I'm John Fondy. Kevin and I have worked together and been friends for 15 years or so, and so we're back at this again. And we started talking about what was going on with the affiliate summit. Probably one of the last times we'll all get together and stuff like that. But
Well, at least for 6 months, I would say minimum,
Yeah.
for sure.
But hey, thanks so much for coming on the show. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Are we already recording?
We are.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're recording.
All right.
Don't worry, you can edit, so we're good.
That's right.
All good. It's all good.
We got the D
Well,
with the $ sign.
First,
Yeah, I love
let me know
the-
if does this background work, or should I change my background?
No, it looks good, man. Looks good.
I am a little transparent, but that's always good in an interview.
That's true. And so, so the is that your background on a green screen?
That is my, I just used an image. I used my affiliate ball with T-Pain.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because yeah, you are a little transparent there.
Yeah, I see it a little bit. I can go back to a regular screen. Hold on.
But that's
Let me
good.
set it up first.
So for our viewers that have just checked in and may not know how fabulous you are, tell us a little bit about your story.
Right on. Well, I've been throwing these big balls, starting with the player's ball back at the very beginning of affiliate marketing back in 1999. And it grew and grew. And, I've been averaging 2,000 to 3,000 guests at every ball that I've thrown since the very beginning of all of this. And then about 10 years ago, we started the affiliate ball. which has been an official party of the Affiliate Summit for quite some time. We've also done other trade shows like AdTech. I've done some LeadsCon. I've messed around with traffic and conversion. I've thrown a bunch of digital marketing shows, but we built up a big audience, and at this point, we have about 45,000 past guests that have all registered, which is amazing to be able to reach out to at any point. And this is the point where I need to reach out to them.
Well, that's certainly a good way to do it. And you're finding a new avenue. Before we had you on, Kevin and I were just talking about adaptability, kind of knowing your space and being 2 chess moves ahead. So when you have to change that space, and it sounds like you've come up with a fabulous idea.
Thank you. I thought when I got my freezer chest, I was ahead of the curve about a month ago. And at the same time, I was like, oh no, I can't throw an in-person event for at least 6 months to a year, which is why I thought, let's do a virtual expo.
And that's kind of what you're doing. In fact, that's coming up in just a little over a month.
Correct. We set the dates for May 13th through the 15th. I want to have 2 days of trade show where people will have booths and be able to chat live with the representatives. We have all kinds of features. I'm still playing around with the platform. There's a lot of features in there. We could do a web conference. I could do speakers. People with booths can add all kinds of content, their videos, offers, ways to connect with them outside of the platform. But I feel like this will be the new trend for at least about a year.
I think so. I think John Fondi and I actually did one, God, John, 12 years ago, if you remember. We built the booth out, we did the green screen, and it wasn't there from a technology standpoint. Now I believe it is.
Mhm.
And I believe also, Darren, you said you're going to have keynote speakers potentially some celebrities, potentially a party, like your affiliate party.
Yeah. I mean, look, the affiliate
I
ball.
don't want to give too much away now, and that's okay.
Yeah. Listen, our party does not stop. We're just going to go take it online. You know what I mean? So
I watch you on Facebook. You're like, party tonight, 7 o'clock. Everybody join.
Oh, our Zoom parties. Yeah.
Yeah, Zoom parties.
That's fun. Everybody's throwing the Zoom parties nowadays,
That's great.
I was thinking that with this virtual expo, that we could still do an affiliate ball. I was thinking that the middle night of the conference, we'll just play all the videos with Snoop Dogg, Ludacris, Sean Paul, Busta Rhymes, and hopefully I'll be able to patch in live. And then at a set time, we'll do the virtual AFI Awards, which I'm still trying to figure out if I want to do those live or pre-record the winners.
I got one of those.
Yeah, look at that. I'm glad you have it out on your desk. That's amazing.
Absolutely.
Just pulled it out of the garbage can.
Yeah, we had a different kind of award back at the Players Ball era. I won't go into that one. Let's just say it was a phallic symbol. The Big Woody Award.
Yeah.
That's great.
So do you have other parties and events that are planned after the May 13th to 15th event?
It's really hard to plan an event right now. I mean, even if I plan on having one, who's going to plan on going at the moment, right?
Sure. I say we just have to play it loose. And we were also talking about, because I'm here in Las Vegas, and you won't believe what Las Vegas looks like now. And it's amazing how quickly things can change, if you will. And how many people were not physically hurt by this, but financially and emotionally. And I think we're going through that, but the larger cities, are really kind of seeing the brunt of that. And we're pretty healthy here in Las Vegas from that standpoint. So we're just ready to pull the plug and see what we do. But a lot of adaptability, and so we're really happy to see that you're kind of bobbing and weaving with that and ready to turn on a dime.
Yeah, I mean, the industry's been very receptive thus far. I sent out a couple mail blasts to our 45,000 past guests. We've registered a lot of people already, so there's definitely a big interest. And we have a lot of exhibitors lined up ready to go. And to make it more enticing, I figured if we can just make registration free at the moment, there's nothing to think about, really. Just sign up right now at affiliateball.com and register. We're going to have a name change soon, but for now it's going to be at Affiliate Ball. And we're going to do half off of sponsorships and half off booths. So if somebody wants an exhibitor booth, it's only $500.
Wow, that's great. So Darren, how would somebody contact you if they wanted to, I know you're going through a rebrand, but if they wanted to, say either sign up as an exhibitor or as a participant, how would they
Just
contact
send me an
you?
email at the moment or Facebook message me if you're on my Facebook, but send me an email at
Do you want
info@affiliateball.com.
to put your email out there, and then John can do an overlay as well since he does the show?
Yeah. So info@affiliateball would be the best way right now.
Good. And
Info at affiliateball.com. Go sign up, John.
that's right. Those are the days, man. I'm telling you.
Not making as much money as you want on the net? The Internet Traffic Kings are by far your best bet. 24 years at the top of the game. Spotify and iTunes, look for them by name. New episodes every Thursday. The Internet Traffic Kings.
Looking forward to it.
And then we're going to figure out how we're going to distribute it. And everything is so different now than it was. And it's technology that we have that we're able to use now. It's just a matter of taking advantage of it. And that's kind of what we said was I don't know if take advantage of it is the right word, but see how we can adapt to what's basically going on and do some things and be ready for it when it turns around and changes, because we know that it will, we just don't know when. And
Right. Well, I mean, if I were to take a guess, and I think it's a realistic guess, I don't think the virus is just going to go away. So I think that until there's a vaccine out there, people are going to be hesitant to be in large groups. So my forecast would be that means New York isn't going to happen. Vegas would be very hard to happen because we got a whole nother flu season coming up and everything. And then maybe next year's New York, it would be able to happen again if the vaccine
And when
was
he's
ready.
saying New York, John, he's talking about the Affiliate Summit East, which is in July, normally end of July.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's going to be able to happen, but I mean, listen, I hope for the best and I hope that things get better. But I mean, I'm kind of a realist at this point.
Sure.
So I feel like let's just do the virtual shows, and I'm glad people are using technology out there. I mean, Zoom is amazing, just to be able to speak to a large group and do a conference that way. We all got to take advantage of that,
Well, I think we do, and you really kind of nailed it on the head. We've got about 3 minutes left before I think Bennett Kelly's going to be on the show here as well, and so go ahead now and just kind of close it out with some things that you want us to know and some things that you think we need to know.
Okay, great. Well, first of all, thanks for the opportunity to be on your show, and congrats on your show, by the way. I'm glad you guys are bringing this back.
Yeah,
That's
Old
awesome.
school, man. The OGs
I
are
love
back.
it. I love it. We're both old school. I love that. So yeah, I just think as an industry, if we all just, unite and come together, the affiliate ball has always been about the industry, which is why we do the AFI awards. We like to turn the spotlight back on the industry with the awards. So with that in mind, the virtual expo is just another way for the industry to come together until times are better where we can get together face to face. So for now, let's do it in chat form. Let's do it in video form, and let's get as many booths together as we can, because we shouldn't have to miss out on an opportunity to network and do business together, because digital marketing is not going to stop. It's going to be here for a while, and a virus is not going to stop us from using our keyboards, cameras, chat features, and it certainly isn't going to stop people from buying anything online right now. So let's all as an industry get together and do this.
That's what I was telling John at the beginning of the show. We're blessed in this industry that we can just go and we can create more. We can create new businesses, we can pivot, and we can change on the fly. Where, if God forbid you and I own the restaurant, Darren, there's really nothing we can do. We can move to takeout if they allow us, but we really, there's not much. Except with that said, I don't know if you saw this, Darren, somebody in West Hollywood converted a restaurant to a grocery store literally in 3 days. I'll send you the article.
Wow.
So yeah, so what he did is he took all his stock and he sells it like in, literally he's got display counters and everything. And now he's buying from the other restaurants as well and selling it from his place. So he's now just a grocery store. Absolutely phenomenal idea.
That's great, except
Most
isn't West Hollywood one of our hot spots for the virus?
Yeah, I know. But most people are just, crumple up and say, okay, well, nothing I can do. I'm stuck. And, you have to innovate. You have to pivot. There's got to be a way you can provide value and somehow how you can change your business because of the online, because you're able to connect with people,
Well, I give you a lot of credit too, Kevin, because you've always been way ahead of everybody.
Thank you.
And when we announced the virtual expo, you were all over it, and I'm glad that you're going to help support it and be a
Absolutely.
big part of it as well. So
100%
thanks.
behind you, buddy.
Absolutely. So it's good to have our old schoolers, you know,
Yep.
carrying the torch and saying, hey, we're going to continue this torch. I'm not passing along to anybody because we're old school and we're here to stay. We're going to do this.
That's right.
Let the new schoolers on board with us, though.
That's right. So I do want to take this time to thank D dollar sign for being with us.
You go, D dollar signs in the waiting room. I'm like, it's D money. What are you talking about? Come on now.
And so
Monet.
we got Bennett
Monet.
we got Bennett in the waiting room, and so we'll make sure that we get you a copy of this when it's done. And we'd love to have you back on the show and kind of keep us abreast, particularly after this first new venture in May comes up. We want to get the down low on that from you.
Absolutely. It's going great right now, and I encourage everybody, sign up, affiliateball.com, get your booth, $500, become a main sponsor of the show for only $2,500. That's it. So become a main sponsor of the show for half price right now. The booths are half price for a limited time. So that's why you got to email me now.
Let me say this, Darren. If you go to a regular trade show, not naming any trade show, and any of the trade shows that we may have spoken about, you're spending $5,000, $6,000 for a booth. Then you're flying your staff. Then you're paying for hotel rooms. Then you've got food and beverage. So you're so far into it. I mean, there's shows that I've spent $70,000, $75,000 on one show, right?
Right.
So for this, you're all in. You have your staff time, you have your $500 to $2,500 for a booth, and that's it. And you're done. I mean, how does that not make sense for somebody to continue doing business and to do it in that fashion? I think it's been brilliant.
Yeah, that's why we want to keep the price low right now because, you know, we want to keep it as low as possible. It should be a no-brainer. Everybody should just do it. Let's get a few hundred booths. Let's get thousands of people on board to make it the best trade show ever.
I agree. Yeah. I think we got to cut it, though, because John's getting nervous. I think our attorney's billing us by the hour in the waiting room.
That's right.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'll let you guys go then.
All right. Thanks so much.
Thanks,
All right, thanks for having me. See you guys.
All right, pleasure. Look forward to it.
Absolutely.
Only a small percentage of people will make big money online. We can show you how to be a part of this elite group because we've been industry leaders for 24 years. Look for new episodes of Internet Traffic Kings every Thursday on Spotify and iTunes. Internet Traffic Kings.
Well, so now we kind of continue on with our great show here. Here's a man that needs to introduction, so we just won't introduce him. You know, he's been a good friend of ours for a long time. One of the most intelligent people.
We're just going to do the edits and put your name flashing on top of your forehead. Don't worry.
That's right. So, do want to thank you so much from the Internet Law Center. Please give a warm Internet Traffic Kings welcome to Bennett Kelly. Hi, Bennett.
You're back.
Yes, you're back. So this new
Ben, if you're working from home, you're still wearing a suit. I don't get it.
Hey,
Listen, I showed John my attire pre-show, and he was very happy.
Yes, I'm very happy you're not showing us again.
you just can't see the fuzzy slippers.
That's right.
Exactly.
And so, in fact, that was the only thing he was wearing was the fuzzy slippers. Oh gosh. Hey, well,
where did 10 years go?
yeah,
I know,
that's
really.
Just, I mean, to think how far back we've gone and everything we've done, and Kevin and I had a chance to catch up a little bit, and maybe you could kind of share with our audience our inaugural show here. So, kind of catch us up a little bit about what you've been doing, the good, the bad, and the every which way but loose, and then we'll just kind of kick the can around a little bit.
Sure. Well, I mean, it's good to be back on WMR. I had my own show here for 9 years, Cyber Law and Business Report, which was a lot of fun. And we even were nominated for an LA Press Club Award one year. I've been continuing with my practice at the Internet Law Center, which we founded in 2007 during an economic downturn, go figure. So times really haven't changed. But our practice continues to be, we work with a lot of ad tech and tech companies and startups, and for many of them where they're outside general counsel, still doing a lot of litigation for them on spam related issues and contract disputes, trade secret cases. And then I have another vertical that I work in, which is completely unrelated, is that I represent victims of online harassment. And that's one area that has been booming, unfortunately. And so I have a number of cases there pending for everything from victims of stalking to revenge porn and other things.
Well, it's good that you're doing that. I think we do need to police ourselves, and it's good to have somebody like you there that carry the big badge, and maybe people will think twice a little bit before they ruin their life or somebody else's.
Yeah, a lot of times when I talk to people about, and they ask me what I do, I say, just remember this day, before I tell my description, you didn't know any of this stuff existed. So that there was a time in your life when you didn't know the dark side was there, and I'm going to share it with you. So yeah, there's some parts that are very dark, but yeah, someone needs to fight that fight.
So I think it's great having you out there as well. How long have you and Bennett known each other, Kevin?
Wow.
A while, because Bennett used to work for Value Click, so 15 years, Bennett? 17 years?
Yeah, easily, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow, just really
quite some time.
I mean, it really does see that now we've got Webmaster Radio, and it looks like we're getting the band back together.
Yeah, that's it.
And with this new technology, I think the timing is right. And so when I got the call from Kevin, we got to talking about it. And I was pretty flattered that you would remember me, and we could build this show together and build the audience together and keep disseminating information. The thing that I might want to just share with the whole audience and stuff is that this program is a non-ad supported podcast, and we're doing this to help the community and do something good and have our friends on so we all can kind of help everybody well. I think that's pretty commendable of you, Kevin.
No, absolutely. That's how we can give back and have the industry stay strong, for sure.
Yeah, so excellent. So what's next for you then, Bennett? What's new on the high wire for you?
Well, let me throw out a couple of tips, and some of these we will probably talk about more in upcoming shows. But obviously, the big news in the industry right now is the California Consumer Privacy Act, which went into effect on January 1, but it can't be enforced until July 1. And there's some pressure to push that back because the Attorney General still hasn't even finalized the regulations that go with that. So we're going to be talking about that a little bit more later. But that's been the big thing. But I want to throw out something very specific to our current situation. And that is a lot of people have insurance. And I encourage people to really evaluate their insurance for cyber risk. And but one thing that's come up is people think they may be covered because of business interruption insurance, because of what's going now with the coronavirus. And the problem is the way those policies are drafted. They're drafted from a way to protect you from business interruption that's attendant to a property damage or something of that nature. So if you have a computer virus that shuts down your equipment, that's property. A fire or anything like that. So that type of business interruption is covered. But something like this, where the government just shuts down or tells you have to shut down, and that is not covered. And so a lot of people are going to be surprised.
Is it defined? Is it defined as like I know
yes.
There's a rider in there for an act of God. What would this be defined as? Act of war?
Well, there is. The coverage. It could. I would say check your coverage, because the coverages that I was looking at for some clients, it really was tied to actual property damage. So, an act of God or war or crisis, have you, isn't what I was seeing in the policies. And so it's a good. I think what you're going to see in response to this, because I'm sure the insurance agents and insurance industry is going to hear a lot from people who thought maybe they were covered and now they're not. But that could be another offering I think you'll see next year, is they'll say, okay, we're offering this other product that will cover, these type of things for when everything hits the fan at once.
Right.
Well, and I think that the one thing is that we can really caution everybody is just don't try this at home. I mean, it's gotten so complex now, and you make one wrong move and it may be the move that you'll regret for the rest of your life.
he says at a time when everyone's working from home.
Yeah, I know. You should see it here.
So what he's trying to do is eliminate the competition. He's saying, don't try and do a podcast from home. You're not allowed to do it. Got a job.
We're on the campus of UNLV. That's where our studios and offices are here as well. And there is, I could probably say right now, and we're in a big building, and I would probably say there's just James, our program director, and myself are probably the only two people that are in this entire building.
Oh.
And
I was just thinking, John, I remember that we had that long walk in New York
I remember.
after Affiliate Summit. I just can imagine what that would be like now.
Oh, I know it would be, well, sad. It would be certainly, it would be
Yeah.
sad, but impossible. And you know, and those are the things that now this is where we all got caught up with our friends and stuff at these summits and these conferences and stuff like that. So a lot of times you won't see somebody for a whole year and you'll run into them at a conference. And I think we're all
That was pretty much a time to reconnect, was at the conferences. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we're at now. Well, Bennett, we want you to be a regular on the show, and we'll kind of kick topics around from back and forth and try to say, pertinent and effective. And so as things come up, we'll just kind of talk it over a little bit. But hey.
Well, we'll start getting topics from users as well. John and Bennett will ask users to send in their questions, and we'll start covering questions, Q&A as well.
Okay.
So
answer what people are really interested in.
So we want to thank Bennett Kelly for coming on and giving us
Thank you again.
Insightful information. And we'll certainly have you on, probably more than you want to be on, but you're always welcome here.
Bennett said he's in every week, so we're good.
Okay, that's good.
Hot Siglieri.
Okay. All right. Thanks so much, Bennett. Appreciate it.
Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Ready to rise through the ranks of the online marketing hierarchy? Take some notes from the original Royals of Revenue, the Internet Traffic Kings. Catch brand new episodes every Thursday on Spotify and iTunes.
So that was a good interview. I like that. It's always good to catch up with Bennett, and I'm kind of working some controls here, and so Kevin, our first show, man, we made it. We made
it. I think the content's great, and as we're talking, I'm developing more ideas. I think a Q&A would be great from a legal standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure our listeners are going to have a lot of questions, and Bennett's one of the best in the business, so we'll definitely get some really good info from him there. And yeah, we'll just keep them light and keep this going. I think it's going to be great.
And we got some good information coming back on our next show. As we do, we're going to talk to you about buying traffic. We're going to talk to you about what you do as well. Where are you going with it? What are you looking for? And a good friend of yours is in the survival gear business, and so it's a very topical subject.
Well, it's been relevant. He's been doing tremendous with his business even before this new scare or this new pandemic. I'm really curious to see what they're doing now and how they're changing. And there's always that fine line of advertising where you don't want to use scare tactics, but I'm really curious as to how they shifted for this and what their orders look like, if they're able to keep any stock in, because I know that like Costco ran out of their survival food. That was one of the first things. Those stocks got cleaned out. Those shelves actually got cleaned out. I saw all these pictures. So I would imagine, I've tested this gentleman's gear. I lost power here in my second home in Malibu, and I used his headset and like all the different stuff that he had, his survival gear. It's great stuff. The flashlight will project 2 miles. It's amazing. But yeah, it'd be very interesting to talk to him, talk about his journey, and he got on QVC and he's done tremendous in his business. So I'm very excited to talk to him about it.
Well, great. As always, we're here with the Clickfather, and we've got our inaugural show kind of out of the way, and we had some fun with it. It seemed like it went really fast. I mean, this is Internet Traffic Kings, and we'll stay pertinent. We'll stay live, and we'll stay alive. But I want to thank Kevin DiVincenzi, the Clickfather, for being with us. Couldn't have done it without you. Wouldn't have wanted to do it without you as well.
Same here, John. And don't forget, for our listeners, subscribe to the show, like the show, share the show. That's the way more people are going to get to hear it.
Yeah, I think that some of our friends out there are going to help attach people to it and get up to speed on how to be involved with it. So for Internet Traffic Kings and Kevin DiFrancenzi, I'm the Big Fabu, the Flatline Fondy. We'll see you guys next time.
All right. Hey, guys.
Not making as much money as you want on the net? The Internet Traffic Kings are by far your best bet. 24 years at the top of the game. Spotify and iTunes, look for them by name. New episodes every Thursday. The Internet Traffic Kings.